Hey guys, how are you doing? Today is January 6th, Friday. Not very good news. Then you can see the title that Bed Bath and Beyond is preparing. Founded for bankruptcy is preparing for bankruptcy. That means it's going to prepare for close down. And I know that it's not only Bed Bath and Beyond. Then it's only because she is more famous than she is publicly listed. A lot of those kind of companies is now in a very difficult financial situation, right? We know that, especially for those have a lot of debts, right? So today we will take a look on the financial report of her in the last quarter. Then you can see some hints that you should dump this stock at that time already, or even one quarter before, right? So if you take a look on that, it's not very you should not have any special skill for you to realize that she has a big problem at the time, right? So always, if you have that stock, then always just take some time to take a look on the financial report, not only just on the headlines of some news, right? We know that Yahoo has some financial news, Google has some financial news, right? Of course, now then everyone said that, okay, then you should dump this stock because she is going for bankruptcy. That is, everyone knows, right? But before that, when we take a look on the financial report, then actually you should already immediately know that, okay, she has a big problem, then we should dump this stock, right? Don't think, just dump this out, right? So this is what it is. Then we know that it's because of the home sales is not good in the past 1 year, right? But the point is that is really that matter for just 1 year, right? 1 year. Bed Bath and Beyond is very old company, 50 years old, 50 or 51 years old already. It's found in 1971, right? More than 50 years old. And then just 1 year, then she will close down, right? This is not very explainable, but the fact is like that, right? So if the situation still goes on, then she may bankrupt in very soon, right? Sadly, right? So we will take a look on some headlines, then we will take as an example to analyze the financial report. So next time you can do it by yourself, right? Okay, our Falcon portfolio yesterday been dropped for Dow Jones and Nasdaq. Then that kind of reason to me is ridiculous. But sometimes the market is like that, right? Sometimes in the US stock market is like that, right? Some ridiculous is the mainstream of explanation. But after this been over, then this kind becomes immediate. This kind of explanation immediate becomes okay. Just go. Then we have another mainstream. That's what it is, right? So our Falcon portfolio been dropped a little bit to 42%, right? And for any subjects that you want to want me to explain, if I can, then you can leave your message under the YouTube, or you can directly email to me by usstockmarketweekly@gmail.com. So this is our covering, right? Then I think a lot of people that living in America, then they will visit Bed Bath and Beyond. Of course, you will not visit for a lot of time, not so frequently, right? Because I will show you some of the pictures inside, and this is for something that you will use in your bedroom, in your bathroom, and then something like that, right? But I'm quite sure that you will have chance to visit it before in your life, right? Then yesterday, Dow Jones been down for more than 300 points, right? Probably because of Apple. Yeah. Actually, I want to discuss Apple, but this is not short, right? If you want to discuss, should you still hold Apple stock or you want to buy the dip, then this is not short, right? The story will be long, and the analysis will be long, and then this will not be accurate. Will not be accurate because that is a long story to tell about the U.S. government, and then with the China government, and then moving of the manufacturing base from China, then out to maybe Vietnam or to India. There's a lot of, how to say, there's a lot of things that is unclear down the road. So not easy for you to focus very precisely on what will happen to Apple in 2023. I mean it, right? So let me think about it, right? And then Nasdaq dropped at 153 points yesterday. So this is our portfolio. Then now I have from the start of each year, then we make it. I will mark down, okay, what is the Dow Jones and Nasdaq closed in last year, and then the portfolio's value, and then I will use that to calculate for the next year. That means this year's performance. So you can see that in this year, then we minus 1%, and then in last 2 years we also have a negative as well, right? You see that we also have a negative as well in 2021 and 2022. Then we hope that we have a positive this year. So this is the US 10-year Treasury yield. Then you can see that it's down a bit, about 0.1% from 1 week before. We go for some big headlines first, then we will discuss about the Bed Bath and beyond. So you can see that then in the news, then a lot of news said that China's big cities are starting to pass. That means the peak is over and is to pass the COVID, and then this kind of COVID-19 infection may pass to the rural area, then it's finished in the city area. Then I am still doubtful about that, right? I'm not sure, because a lot of people, then my previous colleague live in the city area, and then he said it's still very serious now in the city area. If you go to China, then no matter where you go, then you must be infected, nearly 99.9%. So I've doubt about that, but because even the WHO is asking, wow, then you should be more transparent on your data, right? But you know China is like that, right? Another one is Samsung, right? Samsung is quite worrying on this quarter. I think she will announce very shortly, about 1 or 2 weeks, for the last quarter of 2022 on the performance. And then she just declared by herself that it will sink to 8-year low on the demand slump. She is in a situation quite close to Apple, right? Very reliable on China. We know that she is for flash memory, right? For cell phone, and then for the PC computer, maybe for some video game main console, something like that, right? And the point is like that is now China is better because China is reopening, right? But we don't know how her economy will look. And then is Ukraine and Russia war still continue. So we will analyze Samsung's quarterly result, right? If she announced it in 1 or 2 weeks in our Hong Kong pay channel, then if you want to know, then you can subscribe to that, right? And yesterday, then it's quite dramatic, right? We know that. Then at the beginning of the day, and then the commentator said that it's worrying on the job growth, expected to have cooled down in December, right? Actually, then, but the explanation is not enough to slow Fed rate hikes, something like that. It's at the beginning of yesterday, yesterday, right? But when it is being announced, right? When it is being announced, it's because the job status is strong, and then why the Dow even goes more lower more than 300 points when the result is good, right? What the explanation said is, okay, for Powell, if your data is strong, then we will keep on putting up the interest rate because the inflation is still high, right? So this kind of explanation is never-ending story, right? Never-ending. You okay? Then I will put it up, right? If you go down, then it will be worse. Then we will still put up. So this is not an explanation, right? So forget about that, right? Forget about this kind of explanation and then focus on the stock, right? Okay, we will talk about on Bed Bath and Beyond, right? And then yesterday she already announced that its ability to continue. The stock is on track for lowest close since the 90s, right? Then I'll show you the stock price graph so you know that. So this is the inside. She is selling some bathware, kitchenware, bedrooms, kitchenware, something like that. You can see what she's selling in her shops. Her main market is for America and then Latin America and then Mexico. Then a lot of some like the matrix, some that you will use in your bedroom. And then this is for bathware. So she had her glory days. Then we know that in 2014, then her stock price rose to nearly $80, and at the time her market value is $85 billion, and then now it's only $1.69, not a billion, only 1.69, right? And then the glory day is $80, something like 47 times, right? And this is report I can look up. The most updated one is up till to August 27. That means from June, July to August last year. So I just put an star next to it. So in more than 99% of case, right, when a company is going to bankrupt, the main reason is no cash. No cash, right? So you can see that at the end of last August, the cash sheet is on hand is $0.13 billion, just $0.13 billion, compared to February of last year is $0.4 billion. But you may still think that, okay, still okay, right? She still has some cash. If you look at the total asset, you may have an impression that, okay, not very bad because everyone is bad, right? Everyone is in a bad situation in last year, right? If you look at the long-term debt, it's quite a lot, $1.7 billion. And then at last February, it's just $1.1 billion, increased more than 60%. If you just by looking at the total asset value and the total liability value, then you may still think that she is still okay. 4.66 total asset billion compared to 5.24 billion liability. Okay, still okay, right? She can borrow the money. But the story is not like that. So remember, the cash is on hand is $0.13 billion. If we look at the net sales, then decreased a little bit, right? Seems okay, right? Seems okay, right? For 6 months, $2.9 billion compared to $3.9 billion. Everyone is bad, right? If we compare to net loss, a lot of things happened here, right? Net loss, that means losing the money, right? So we can have brief calculation on that. If we look at 6 months, right? If you look at the 6 months, that means if you look at the right hand side, the loss is $0.72 billion. And if you look at the 3 months, the loss is 0.366 US dollar. That means half of the loss happened from June to July to August, right? That means the company already in a very bad situation. I also put another star next to it. Always you must look at the net cash provided by the operating activity. Because all the company's income is from this, except you borrow the money, right? So you can see that the net cash provided by the operating activity is a negative. That means she is losing 0.5 billion US dollar. That's the reason. She is losing 0.5 billion US dollar, and then her cash is 0.135 US dollar. That means actually she lost all the cash already. Where can the money from when she is lost? Not earning money and then lost, is from the cash she already have. And besides from the cash generated by the operating activity, there are still 2 more kinds normally you will find in the financial report. One is the net cash used in investing activity, and then another one is from the financial activity. You can see that I just put an circle next to it, right? In the investing activity, there is only one expenditure, is the capital expenditure. Maybe she is opening new shops, or maybe she is acquiring some companies, I don't know, right? That is the only investment activity. That means is spending out. And then another cash flows from the financial activity. Seems okay, right? 0.55 billion US dollar. But look at that. Look at the detail. The detail is she is borrowing money. Borrowing of new term debt, right? So the point is like that. She is spending the money. I don't know what is this capital expenditure. Maybe refreshing of the company, of all the shops, I don't know, right? And then she is borrowing more debts in. If you just by looking at the end of the column, end of the period, she still have some cash. But of course it's much less than in February. But she still have some cash. But if you calculate it, then you will see that if she is losing 0.5x billion US dollar, and then her cash on hand is only 0.135 billion US dollar, how can she pay for the dividend? The answer is cannot, right? The answer is cannot. That's the problem. That's the main problem. So if you spend some time in August and then you take a look on this kind of report, then you will immediately, okay, then I should dump this stock, right? She is not earning less. She is losing the money. Where did she lose the money? From the cash, right? She lose the money from the money that she borrowed. That is very, very bad, right? That is the main reason. So we share up till here, and thanks for watching, and then please give us any like and comment is welcome, right? So remember, if you like this video, share to your friends, then please help to press the subscribe and then the bell icon next to it. So whenever there is video uploaded, YouTube will inform you automatically. Okay, I hope everyone have a very peaceful weekend. See you next Friday. Bye bye.